Hello friends, it's wonderful to have you with me again today. So a lot of you have asked me about my Russian language studying and how I plan my studying, how I keep myself focused and what I do to learn this language, because it is a hard language to learn, and I think without discipline and being organized, it can become quite overwhelming. So I have this document in my Goodnotes app, and it's like a diary that I downloaded from this company on Etsy called Happy Downloads. And what I like about it is that it has hyperlinks, which means that you can go to any page that you want and really easily find what you're looking for. So I'll make sure I link this particular diary and where you can get it from. It's really good value for money because you get all these different templates, and I actually use this for my day-to-day planner diary as well, so it's really like universal. You can use it for pretty much anything you want. I got the dated one because I'm lazy, but you can get undated as well, and then you can just keep reusing it. So this is pretty much what I do. There are two elements to my Russian study, like to keep myself on track. I'll just be talking about the diary and how I plan everything out first of all. So down here you see the months, and what I do is I tick off every day so I know where I am. But what I do like to do is use one of the templates here and just write down what I've done that day and plan out my week. So I'll get one that's a little bit more current. So I'll look at what these mean in a minute. But what I like to do is split the day, the week, up into different activities. This is what I used to do. Activity 1, Activity 2, and Activity 3. As you can see, this week was a really rubbish week, so let me just find a week that was good. Best week yet. Let's have a look at this. Alright, so I will, at the start of the week, plan out my week and what I want to achieve that week. So for instance, this week I had some homework to do. I knew that Wednesday was out of the question because I was really busy that day. And I knew on Thursday that I could only really fit in one thing. So it depends on your personal schedule and how busy you are. But for me, to plan out my activities per day really helps me to keep focused. It stops me from getting overwhelmed. It stops me from overworking because I'm kind of one of those people that likes to cram in a lot every day, and sometimes that's counterproductive. So that's how I plan out my week. Then I have this, which is my little weekly progress diary. On this side, I write down the day, and then I write down what I did that day. And then that just gives me an understanding of how much I've done that week, and this week was a really good week because I did loads. And on this side I have weekly questions that I try to answer at the end of the week. So for example, did I skip any study sessions or fall behind at any point? What did I struggle with this week? What was hard for me to understand? What did I do well? Was there anything that was really easy for me? Did I have a balanced learning schedule, so reading, writing, listening and speaking? And was my schedule realistic and doable for each day? So I find that keeping a diary such as this, you can look back on it at the end of the week or the end of the month or every 2 weeks, and it's really good at showing you how far you've come. It also kind of holds you accountable a little bit. If you don't have like a tutor or something like that, it just gives you a little insight into how you're progressing, and it also kind of highlights the bits that you're not so good at as well. What I have done recently is changed it a little bit, although that would be really good if you're just starting out. Just limit yourself to three tasks a day, and we'll come on to that in a minute, how the tasks are split. But I started breaking the tasks down into their different categories. So for instance, language course, which this for me is my private tuition through Preply, which I'll talk to you about in a minute. But you can do a language course such as Babbel, Duolingo, whatever. You've got grammar study, so verbs, how they conjugate, whatever your language discipline is. Then you have core vocabulary, so basically learning words, which I'm really, really, really rubbish at. I can't really keep words in my head for longer than a week, and they kind of fly out. Again, reading, I'm actually surprised that I'm really bad at this. I love reading in my native language, but reading in Russian is really, really, really hard. Listening, again, I need to practice on this a lot, because I find I have to listen like 10 times at the question I'm being asked and it doesn't sink in. Speaking, surprisingly, I'm a little bit better at that now, and that was the one thing that I feared the most, was speaking. But I find speaking out loud just helps me to remember everything. It's really, really weird. So that's how I've started to break it down. But I might go back to the old way, because I feel like this looks more overwhelming than the previous one. But I wanted to make sure that I had a balanced learning day, and made sure that I got in each of the disciplines every day, even if it was just 5 minutes per discipline. So that's how I keep on track week by week. So I know you're probably wondering, but how do you know what you're doing, and how long do you allow for each discipline? So I downloaded this little template from the internet. This is basically, I can't rotate my screen for some reason. This is basically like what you have to do to become fluent in your chosen language. So you have like regular study, moderate, extended study, and it's basically how many hours a day you can dedicate to the study. So here you have like 6 hours a day, and you've got to do like all of this stuff, and that's just extreme. So I don't do that. I do this. So I try and do 2 hours of study in the evenings. Not every evening, mind you, because, my family come round and sometimes I can't be bothered. But I try and do it on my days which I'm free, which is Monday, Tuesday and Thursday evenings. So 2 hours of study. I will begin roughly around 8 p.m. and I'll go up to about 10 o'clock in the evening. Maybe a little bit earlier. It kind of depends on my workload during the day. So I will spend 1 hour doing my language course, which, like I said, at this moment in time is the private tutoring on using Preply. And I'll link my tutor down in the description because she is fantastic. I love her to bits. Her name is Valeria, and we get on so well. And she is just a fantastic teacher. She really understands, about how to teach, because she is a qualified teacher, and she knows me. Like, she knows I like homework, and she knows that I go off and do my own thing as well, and come back with all these different words that I've cheated with. And she's a really patient and kind teacher as well. So if you're learning Russian, I highly recommend signing up to Preply and using Valeria, because she is amazing. And I'll show you a couple of little cheeky bits that we've been doing on our language course, but I'll be doing a dedicated video on that, like a revision sort of thing. So I will spend an hour doing her homework. Normally it will take me the full hour because, like I say, she gives me a whole bunch of homework, which does take a long time. But if I get to a point where I'm like, I can't do anymore, I want a change, then I will go and do 30 minutes on Babbel, which is the app that is actually really good in sort of learning by yourself, but I feel like it lacks the context that you need in terms of like conjugating the verbs, the past and present tense, really the fundamentals of the language learning. You can pick stuff up and you can repeat it, but it doesn't help you to understand concretely how the language works, if you get what I mean. Then I need to delete this because I don't think that is right. I don't do that because that comes later on. So next, after that, I will try and do some core vocabulary study, which basically is flashcards with words on them. I probably won't do 30 minutes because my mind goes to mush. I will probably do about 15 minutes of core vocabulary study, and that kind of involves me and Mr. Whisper Audios, my partner, just going through, what does this word mean? How do you say this? And so on and so forth. Language content study. So normally this will be me watching a Russian TV show like To the Lake, which I am watching at the minute. I've only got like one episode left. But really that's probably counterproductive to my level at the moment, because I probably understand about 10 words per episode, which, although you're immersing yourself in the language, it's not that great because you're left behind and you really rely on the subtitles. Well, for me at this point anyway. So instead, I do something called the Real Russian Club. And again, I'll put this down in the description. And the Real Russian Club kind of puts these two together. So you listen, you speak, and you read all at the same time. And what I love is that it's really simple stuff. It's learning by stories. I'll show you in a minute, but it's really, really good because it's basically, it repeats words over and over again, but in context. You're reading, you're speaking, you're answering questions. It's really, really good. So I really try and do this because it helps me to listen and speak and think, which at the moment is it's really slow for me, and I'm getting quite frustrated with myself. So that's my typical weekday evening routine. So it gets more serious over the weekend. I have a private lesson for an hour on a Saturday, so that constitutes the 1 hour of the day already taken up, because like you can see here, 4 hours of study, and sometimes on a Saturday I will go all day studying. So on Saturday I have my lesson, which is 12 till 1, so that's the 1 hour. And then afterwards I will probably, instead of this actually, what I do like to do, straight after my lesson, is write up notes. Oops. Let's get this one. So write up notes from lesson and make a revision page. So what I mean by that is when I'm taking notes in my lesson, it's literally ineligible. It's just scribbly and horrible, and it's not really worth much to anyone. But what I like to do straight after my lesson is decompress and write up everything neatly with pictures and like helpful notes and tips that I learned during the lesson. I make like a revision page so I can look back on it and know exactly what I learned. I also import all of my homework that I was given that day, again, so it's fresh on my mind and I know exactly what I need to do the upcoming week. So that's what I do for the first 2 hours. After that, I will do some flashcards. Again, it's really not like an hour. This is more kind of broken up into like little work breaks throughout the day. So whilst I'm making a tea or going to the loo or doing something, I'll quickly take my iPad with me or my phone and I'll do a couple of flashcards, like 10 flashcards using Memorize, which is this app, which is really, really good. I think I showed you that on my what's on my iPad video, I think. So I'll do that sort of throughout the day, probably won't add up to about an hour. Then on Sunday I will watch my Russian TV show. Like I say, this the TV show I'm watching at the moment is called To the Lake, and then the one I'm going to watch afterwards is the one with the robot, Better Than Us, I think it's called. And then I'll do some speaking practice and basically annoy my other half by speaking all the Russian that I have learnt in my lessons up until that point. I'll also use this opportunity to revise everything I've learnt in the week. And basically at that point I'm probably just wiped out and need a break. So that will be a really good like 4 hours for me. Pretty much most of my free time, Saturday and Sunday, if I'm not editing or working or doing something else. So that's what my typical day looks like. So obviously you can scale this back or scale it up depending on your own personal preferences, but I like to have a clear understanding of really how long I spend each day studying. And I totally get it, like if you want to do bits and bobs throughout the day, that's cool, but really if you don't have a focused kind of study plan, I feel like you probably won't make too much progress in your language learning. However, everybody is different. Not everybody will take to this method as much as like other people will. I've known people to learn languages by literally just speaking it. They don't even know how to read or spell or anything else, which again is totally cool. Like, it depends on what your goals are. For me, I want to have a broad, very balanced understanding of the language, and I want to be able to converse in Russian to Russian-speaking people. That's the goal. So I'll quickly show you my private tuition, and literally this is one lesson, this is another lesson, and there is just so much here. So I honestly, having private lessons has literally changed the game for me. It's literally given me focus, held me accountable to someone. Again, my teacher is brilliant, so I'm learning the fundamentals of the language. So when I'm reading other stuff, it makes sense to me. We've done plurals, pronouns, we've done verbs, groups 1 and 2. So, as you can see, it's very, very simple. This is how I work. I like to have a visual images to the word that I'm learning. So the last thing that we learnt was group 1 and group 2 verb conjugations. Again, this is all very basic at the moment. I know there's more to it. We had some basic infinitive forms of the word, like, here we go, my terrible pronunciation. Гулять, спрашивать, плавать, отвечать. So, walk, to ask, to swim, to answer, group 1. Отвечаю, so basically you drop the infinitive form here. So basically you take away that. Depending on the pronoun, you add this. And group 2, we have говорить, смотреть, курить, помнить. So to speak, say, talk, watch, look, smoke, and remember. And I think this one needs to go over there, I'm not sure. And yeah, in this one you drop the 3 infinitives and then you add these new infinitives here, or new endings here. I'm really just rushing through this, guys, I'm sorry. I will be doing a video on all of my private lessons when I get a chance. So what else can I show you? So these are all my hyperlinks to various different areas of study. You've seen the alphabet in the previous video. You've seen the study plan. Oh yeah, let me show you this actually. This might be helpful to you. I wrote this a year ago and I realised it's the wrong spelling. I just literally googled it and I realised that it's not the infinitive form of the verb here, which I've actually learnt. So it's quite funny to go back and look at your mistakes. So if you're learning a language, normally you'd split it into 4 different disciplines. You've got reading, writing, speaking, and listening. So examples of what you can do to read: obviously read a chapter of a book, read a short story, read a news article, read a blog post, or what I do mostly is follow native speakers on social media and read their posts and captions. Mostly this is Russian ASM artists. I read their captions and I read the comments, and I also follow a couple of Russian nail technicians as well and read their posts on Instagram. Writing. You can write a journal entry about your day. You can write messages to native speakers using Hello Talk or Tandem. I actually use Tandem, and I have a couple of different people who I haven't messaged in a while now, but it's a really, really good free way to connect with native speakers, although I will warn you that some people use it like Tinder, and they try and slide into your DMs and be inappropriate. So just be aware of that, but there are some genuine people on there. You can also write captions on your social media in your target language. I've just started to do this to my fellow ASM artists who are Russian. I don't think I can only just say hello, how are you, and answer basic questions. But little baby steps, right? Start a new Instagram page where you only post in your target language. I think that's a more advanced thing. Complete written exercises in a workbook. I do that because of my homework. Read sentences in your native language and practice translating them to your target audience, which I do on my channel here. I read out my language learning and tell you what it's about. Write out the vocabulary words and their meanings. So speaking, говорить, not whatever that is. Speak out loud about what you did today. I do this, I try and do this every single day, but based on what I've learnt so far. Call a friend or send an audio message through Hello Talk, Tandem or WhatsApp. I do this, I haven't done it in a little while because I wasn't confident enough, and I just wasn't at that point where I knew enough to send a message. But once you are at that point, honestly, getting a friend who speaks the language natively that you're aspiring to learn is so helpful. It's so helpful. Narrate whatever you're doing at the moment, cooking, cleaning, etc. Yes, I do this every single day. Mostly it's to my cat. I say to her, "Я люблю кошка, кошка да, я люблю тебя." Like, what else do I say? Я говорит. I speak to my mind's gone blank, it's the pressure. Or go through your vocabulary list and pronounce words. Listening. Слушает. Not this. Watch a TV series or movie. Yes, I do that. Watch YouTubers in your target language. I literally, at this moment in time, seem to be only watching Russian ASM artists at the moment. create a Spotify playlist to listen to regularly. Listen to podcasts in your target language. What I'd also recommend is listening to songs as well. For me, learning a rhythm to the words really helps to cement it into my head. For instance, I have a audio recording that my teacher sent to me, and there's a guy on there, he's like so Russian, and at the beginning of every task, every exercise, he says "Слушайте, повторяйте, читайте," and it just that rhythm of it is stuck in my head, and I find myself having it stuck in my head all day. So it's quite annoying, but helpful when you're learning. Right, so what else is there to show you? So you know about Babbel, Duolingo. I haven't looked at in a while, and I haven't actually put my notes in, but I'm going to start from the beginning with Duolingo when I have time. I'm really focused on Babbel because it's the better of the two, if I'm being honest. Revision, this is kind of not filled out at the moment, but I want to make some little flashcards here and something more visual. Private tuition you've seen. Real life, that's literally just stuff that I have picked up from my friends on Tandem and stuff like that. But again, I haven't talked to them for a little while, so that's not quite filled out. Common words is something that I started, but I realised it wasn't very helpful on here. These are the top 1 to 10 words, but I found an app, Memrise, that was much more helpful than looking at them here like this. So I think I'm going to delete that. Dual text. These are just little things I downloaded from the internet. For instance, the Russian bear here. And I go word by word and break it all down. That's very time consuming. But I found something a little bit better than this, which is more at my level. So it's called the Real Russian Club. And basically it gives you little funny stories. Like this one is Handsome DiCaprio, and it's literally just 1 or 2 sentences with very basic text. So what I do is I listen, because it comes with audio. I listen to it first. I have no idea what it's talking about, apart from a couple of different words that I know, and I can probably pick up the meaning. I'll listen and try and answer the questions. Then I will look at the text. I will highlight all the words that I don't know. Then I will find what they mean and how you say them. And then I haven't finished this yet, but then I will make little pictures and write the words associated to them, because I'm a visual learner. I like to see a picture rather than the word, and hopefully associate the word with the picture, if that makes sense. Then I will systematically go and start to translate it. Once I've done that, I will go back to the audio, play it again, and then it becomes a lot clearer. And then basically I will keep going with the audio until it becomes like I know every single word, I know exactly what they're asking, and I can answer with confidence. And then I can move on to the next story, because there are loads of them. I do like this one though. This is the first one that I actually read or listened to or, started. It's called Ernest Eats Hamburgers. And we're going to read it quickly and then that will round out the video nicely. Alright. Кот Эрнест ест бургеры каждый день. Сегодня он тоже ест бургер. Это вкусный и большой бургер. Сегодня он ест бургер с майонезом. Ему не навариться. Он хочет бургер с ketchupом. So the cat, try not to cheat. Alright, let's try and, I know what to do. Where is this? That does not work, does it? Let's rub this out so we don't cheat. Okay, we'll rub it out in a minute. So, Ernest the cat eats burgers every day. Today he also eats a burger. It is I know that's and a big burger. So I don't know what this word is. I think it's yummy or something. Вкусный. Big burger. Today he eats a burger with mayonnaise. Ему не нравится. I don't know what this is either. Он хочет бургер с ketchupом. He wants a burger with ketchup. Alright, so let's see how much I remember I've got wrong. So Ernest the cat eats burgers every day, yes. Today he also eats a burger, yes. It is a yummy and big burger. We thought it was yummy, didn't we? Today he eats a burger with mayo. Сегодня он ест бургер с майонезом. Today he eats a burger with mayo. He doesn't like it. Ему не нравится. He wants a burger with ketchup. Он хочет бургер с ketchupом. So, as you can see, it's really, really simple. And then you have all these questions that you answer. For instance, кот Эрнест ест бургеры каждый день. Кота зовут Эрнест. Да, кот зовут Эрнест. Это кот по имени Эрнест. Это кот Виктор. Нет, это Эрнест. Он ест бургеры. Он ест маффины. Нет, он ест не маффины. Он ест бургеры. Он ест бургеры каждый день. Он ест бургеры раз в неделю. Неделю? Нет, он ест их каждый день. Кто ест бургеры каждый день? Кот Эрнест ест бургеры каждый день. Что он делает? Он ест бургеры. So you can see it repeats the words, which is great. Repetition is key. And again, there's a whole bunch of stuff. So I will leave it there, guys. And for my Russian friends out there, I'm really sorry for my pronunciation and mistakes. But the simple matter of it is that I'm really enjoying learning, and I love it, and I look forward to it. I dream about it. I dream about verbs and nouns and sentence structures. So that's got to be a good thing, right? I don't know. Maybe it's an obsession. Anyway, thank you so much for listening, guys. I really hope you found it to be relaxing, informative, and you've got something from it. So I look forward to seeing you again in the next video. Have a lovely day, and пока-пока.